after a few drinks, it's always the same thing. We find ourselves lost in conversation at the bar. Then after a few songs, the kind that you hold on, we find ourselves leaning up against my car. Should've stopped at one, say goodbye, giving up at two. If we didn't want to wind up falling into my bed like we always do. After a few, oh, after a few, we always take it way too far, where it's too much to resist. We always make it way too hard to walk away after that third kiss. We pretend that we'll be fine, feel the sting in the morning light. Girl, it happens every time. After a few drinks, it's always the same thing. We find ourselves lost in conversation at the bar. Then after a few songs, the kind that you hold on, we find ourselves leaning up against my car. Should've stopped at one, say goodbye, giving up at two. If we didn't want to wind up falling into my bed like we always do. After a few, oh, yeah, after a few. Little smile, little how you been, little touch, little reminisce. But we both know how it is. After a few drinks, it's always the same thing. We find ourselves lost in conversation at the bar. Then after a few songs, the kind that you hold on, we find ourselves leaning up against my car. Should've stopped at one, say goodbye, giving up at two. If we didn't want to wind up falling into my bed like we always do. After a few, oh, after a few. This is not another story.
Parents, members, and guests, please welcome the 2022-2023 North Dakota FFA State Officer Team. State Parliamentarian Wyatt Kirsten. State Sentinel Jacob Van Berko.
It's my time. There's no stopping this, 'cause I was born for this. I do it for the glory.
State Reporter Faith Norby.
I do it for the glory. I'll be more than just a fable.
State Treasurer Regan Jones.
I will never be too afraid to bleed, giving all of me even when it's hard. Oh, I started as an ember who was made for kerosene.
State Vice President Haley Maddox.
And now I'm raging like a fire, burning up through everything I see. And it
Secretary, Caitlin Duxer.
There's no stopping this, 'cause I was born for this. I do it for the glory.
And State President, Amy Klein.
I do it for the glory. I do it for the glory. When all that's left is dust, they'll remember. Oh, they'll remember us. I do it for the. I do it for the glory.
The convention session will come to order. We're now holding the second session of the 94th North Dakota FFA State Convention. Madam Vice President, are all officers at their stations?
I shall call the roll of officers, determine if they are at their stations, and report back to you, Madam President. The parliamentarian.
Hereby a copy of Robert's Rules of Order.
Your duties there.
It is my obligation to know and share information about parliamentary law and assist members in proper meeting procedures and etiquette so that we may accomplish the business of the chapter. I assure that every member will be heard and the majority will prevail.
The sentinel.
Stationed by the door.
Your duties there.
Through this door pass many friends of the FFA. It is my duty to see that the door is open to our friends at all times and that they're welcome. I care for the meeting room and paraphernalia. I strive to keep the room comfortable and assist the president in maintaining order.
The reporter.
The reporter is stationed by the flag.
Why by the flag?
As the flag covers the United States of America, so I strive to inform the people in order that every man, woman, and child may know that the FFA is a national organization that reaches from the state of Alaska to the Virgin Islands and from the state of Maine to Hawaii.
The treasurer.
Stationed at the emblem of Washington.
Your duties there.
I keep a record of receipts and disbursements, just as Washington kept his farm accounts, carefully and accurately. I encourage thrift among the members and strive to build our financial standings through savings and investments. George Washington was better able to serve his country because he was financially independent.
The secretary.
Stationed by the ear of corn.
Your duties there.
I keep an accurate record of all meetings and correspond with other secretaries wherever corn is grown and FFA members meet.
The advisor.
Here by the owl.
Why by the owl?
The owl is a time-honored emblem of knowledge and wisdom. Being older than the rest of you, I'm asked to advise you from time to time as the need arises. I hope that my advice will always be based on true knowledge and ripened with wisdom. Madam Vice President, why do you keep a plow at your station?
The plow is a symbol of labor and tillage of the soil. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom can accomplish much. My duties require me to assist at all times in directing the work of our organization. I preside over meetings in the absence of our president, whose place is beneath the rising sun.
Why is the president so stationed?
The rising sun is the token of a new era in agriculture. If we will follow the leadership of our president, we shall be led out of the darkness of selfishness and into the glorious sunlight of brotherhood and cooperation. Madam President, all officers are at their stations.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. The Secretary will call the roll of members.
There are 1,378 members, guests, and advisors present, Madam President.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. FFA members, why are we here? To practice brotherhood, honor agricultural opportunities and responsibilities, and develop those qualities of leadership which an FFA membership possess. May we accomplish our purposes, I now declare this session of the 94th North Dakota FFA State Convention duly open for the transaction of business or attention to any matters which may properly be presented. North Dakota FFA, welcome to the second session. Your session chair has a huge plant obsession, a great fondness for cows, and a deep love for Jesus. When you walk into her room, you think you just walked into Hobby Lobby. FFA, let's give a huge welcome to your state treasurer, Regan Jones.
I am so pumped to be here today. I'll try and keep the corny jokes from this agronomy major to a minimum. We have an exciting session consisting of chapter officer awards, proficiency announcements, and an outstanding retainer address from our state parliamentarian, Wyatt Kirsten. But before we get into this exciting session, let's welcome Jolyn Strobel from the McCluskey FFA chapter to kick off the session with a reflection.
Please assume an attitude of prayer. Dear Lord, as we reflect on this week, we thank you for all the amazing opportunities you've given us. We thank you for all the opportunities to meet new friends and reconnect with old friends. Thank you for the safety of everybody here today and the opportunity to live a life in agriculture. We thank you for the leadership of our officer team and all the other supporters who make this possible. We ask you to help us live to serve not only others, but you most. In your name we pray. Amen.
Our chapter officers are the driving force in every FFA chapter, and each office has a very important role to play. The reporter strives to inform that every man, woman, and child knows that the FFA is a national organization by working with the media to tell our story. We want to thank and give credit to those who have done the best job of telling the public about FFA.
Yes, Regan, the FFA is a great story of young people doing good things. I'm proud to let you meet this year's outstanding FFA reporters. Our sponsor this year for these awards is the Garrison FFA alumni. Would a representative please join us on stage at this time to help hand out awards? We ask that you hold your applause until each division has been introduced. Also, according to our dress policy, members will not be allowed to come on stage unless they are in official dress. If you are unable to come on stage to receive your award, please stop by the secretary station to fill out a card so that your award will be sent back to your chapter. Congratulations to the bronze and silver award winners on the screen. The gold reporters are Faith Howe from Velva, Josie Wenger from Max, Sydney Ellingson from Hettinger, Sadie Majors from Garrison, Kaylee Kuntz from Mandan, Gracie Rauschenberger from South Prairie, Ava Moser from Napoleon, and Addie Christensen from Richland 44. Congratulations to all our reporters.
George Washington's motto was deeds, not words. Let's recognize our outstanding treasures for the faith born not of words, but of deeds.
George Washington kept his farm accounts carefully and accurately. Our FFA treasurers follow his leadership and learn the value of complete and accurate fiscal records. We are pleased to recognize those who did a good job this year. The Farmers Union Insurance and Farmers Union Association is our sponsor. Would a representative from these organizations please join us on the stage? Congratulations to the Bronze and Silver Award winners on the screen. The gold treasures are Jaslyn Weigel from Napoleon, Preston Kraft from Velva, Gracie Hoff from Max, and Aspen Thielen from Garrison. Congratulations to all treasures.
The program of activities is the outline chapters use to plan, develop, and execute various activities throughout the year. Faith will now recognize the chapter vice presidents, whose responsibility is this very important task.
We are pleased to honor those secretaries who made the special effort to submit their secretary's book for recognition. The Maddock A.S. Gibbons FFA chapter is our sponsor for this award. Would a Maddock A.S. Gibbons FFA member please join us on stage to hand out awards? Congratulations to the Bronze and Silver Award winners on the screen. The gold secretaries are Carissa Mann from Napoleon, Allison Hayen from Richland 44, Alexis Ritzman from Mandan, Bailey Erlocker from New England, Brooklyn Baker from Garrison, Carrie Thompson from New Salem, Caitlin Larson from Velva, Addison Walters from Minot, and Natalie Becker from South Perry. Congratulations to all secretaries.
Now, Faith will recognize the chapter vice presidents.
We are pleased to honor those vice presidents that have submitted their chapter's POAs. The sponsor for these awards is Farmers Union Insurance and Farmers Union Association. Would a representative please join us on stage? Congratulations to the Bronze and Silver vice presidents on the screen. The gold vice presidents are Emma Kramer from Garrison, Chelsea Brandvold from Max, Alyssa Young from Napoleon, Michaela Kraft from Minot, and Nicholas Wolfke from Richland 44. Congratulations to all vice presidents.
Now, it's my special privilege to invite the next two individuals to the convention stage. Here to introduce the iconic mom van driver and our team's Uber, State Parliamentarian Wyatt Kirsten is Ben Sharesky and Cole Heesers for the Max FFA chapter.
Not everyone is as lucky as you are, Wyatt. Why? You may ask. Well, you are fortunate enough to have a cousin like me. Through the years, We grew close and shared many stories, from showing animals, going to concerts, and fishing for gophers. You were always there to have a good time. Wyatt inspired me to join livestock judging, which I hated every minute of. He has been my teammate on the basketball court, playing cornhole tournaments, and let's not forget he was my partner in crime while blind lawn mowing racing. Wyatt has not let anyone tell him that he could not do it. You prove to all the doubters that anything is possible, and that if you set your goals to something, you can and will achieve it.
Wyatt Kirsten has been a friend of mine since preschool. I got to know him very well growing up, and our friendship has only gotten stronger through the years. When we were younger, it was racing to see who could get the assignment done the fastest, even though I swear he just wrote his name on it, or comparing our terrible handwriting, which he usually set the bar for. As we got older, Wyatt became more outgoing and was always ready to help with things going on in the chapter and in school activities. Back home, he's worked hard to get where he is and can always crack a good joke. It's been fun to watch Wyatt serve as a state officer and spend time doing what he loves all year in FFA.
I am proud to introduce you to my cousin,
my best friend,
your 2022-2023 state parliamentarian, Wyatt Kirsten.
I'm the son of a third-generation farmer. I've been married 10 years to a farmer's daughter. I'm a God-fearing, hard-working combine driver, hogging up the road on my plower, chug-a-lug-a-lugging 5 miles an hour on my international harvester.
If you were to ask most ranch kids what their favorite ranch memory was, you might hear a wide variety of answers. From seeing new calves to wrapping up haying season, but not this rancher, because personally, my favorite time of the year ever since I could remember was when riding in the pickup with my dad when we would take our steers to the butcher shop. It always fascinated me how someone could take a living animal like a steer and turn it into an edible product for us. And at 10 years old, I came up with my first dream. I wanted to work at that butcher shop that we took our steers to. So, as the years went by, I started competing in meats evaluation through 4-H and an FFA. And in the summer before my senior year of high school, I wanted to get my first job. So, I called that butcher shop that I so admired, nervously asked if they were hiring. They took my name and number, and I sat there for weeks waiting for a call back. Discouraged, they never did. I got a job at a different butcher shop, where I was able to learn the ropes before going off to meat processing school. Little did I realize how big of an impact this would have on my future life, because a few short months later, I fulfilled 10-year-old me dream by not just working at that butcher shop, but working on the slaughter and processing floor. Dreams are something that connects us. If you are asked someone what their biggest dream was, they will give you an answer. The sad truth is, though, is that there will always be someone there to discourage you and make you want to quit. For example, it was my senior year of high school. I was looking into more running for as a state FFA officer position when I heard about the Aspire conference coming up, which is a conference that taught potential candidates what it takes to be an officer. As I filled out that application, I got more and more excited and quickly started telling friends and family what I wanted to do. Sure, I received lots of encouragement and lots of comments, but there was one comment that really stood out to me. As I told this person what I wanted to do, they simply looked at me and said, "You can't handle it. Why do you want to do this?" Those words seared their way into my mind because somebody that I looked up to didn't believe in me. After the Aspire conference, I had mixed feelings about running. But in my heart, I knew it was something that I could handle. So, a few short months later, I started filling out that application, and with each word I typed into that paper, those words, "You can't handle it," screamed louder and louder until it felt like my head was going to explode. I had to take and push and force that voice down. Fulfilling dreams is not easy. You'll be discouraged by some, feel zero motivation to move forward, but most importantly, this voice inside your head will scream louder and louder until you want to quit. A common misconception, though, is that your inner voice is always negative, which couldn't be further from the truth. That voice can only be negative when it has fuel added to it. Negativity from others makes your inner voice scream louder. Don't let the noise from others drown out your inner voice. The beauty of your inner voice, though, is that that whisper of hope that tells you you can do anything, that needs no fuel. Even if all you receive is negativity, as long as you have hope in your heart, that whisper will be there. The question is, are you willing to listen to the negativity screams for it? North Dakota FFA. Blocking out strangers is easy. Not listening to what friends and family have to say is hard. But the hardest obstacle you will ever face is yourself. Once you conquer the voices in your head, you will conquer your wildest dreams.
I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu, and I loved deeper, and I spoke sweeter, and I gave forgiveness I've been denied.
Through my year of service as a state officer, I have had many memories that would not be possible without a very large group of people. Firstly, I would like to thank my family. Thank you guys for always being there, from always checking up on me to making sure I got where I needed to be safely, and to helping with my side of the chores when I couldn't always be there. I couldn't have juggled school, work, or this role without you. You were all my biggest supporters. Thank you to Craig, Nikki, Rebecca, Beth, and Kayla for all that you did from us, for guiding a helping hand when needed, to also being sure we stayed on top of our deadlines and got everything done on time. Words cannot express how thankful we are for everything that you do for the FFA Association and the Foundation. To my team, I couldn't have asked for a more energetic or amazing group of people to serve with. Thank you for always being there through everything, from the good times, the bad ones, and also the stressful ones. From the many, many laughs we shared and the many tears we shed together, and with all the crazy stories and .5s, you made this a year I will never forget, and I can't wait to see what life has in store for all of you. North Dakota FFA, thank you for this amazing opportunity serving as a 2022-2023 state officer. Mom, Dad, come up here.
I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu, and I loved deeper, and I spoke sweeter, and I gave forgiveness I've been denying, and he said someday I'll hope.
North Dakota FFA, I am proud to present my parents, Alan and Holly Kirsten.
He said I was finally the husband.
Get up here, guys.
And I became a friend would like to have. And all of a sudden going fishing wasn't such an imposition. And I went 3 times that year, I lost my dad. Well, I finally read the good book, and I took a good long hard look at what I'd do if I could do it all again. And then
Wyatt, my fellow boot barn and livestock lover, you have brought a unique energy to this team this year. Your ability to handle whatever challenges happened this year was truly remarkable. Our team will always remember you for your meat processing stories, insight about raising your hundreds of rabbits and the goats you ate, and the one time you made us all try rabbit meat sticks. Let's just say you were the only person that enjoyed that experience. Thank you for being the best teammate this year. We are so excited to see what your future holds. North Dakota FFA, I present to your 2022-2023 State Parliamentarian, Wyatt Kirsten.
I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu, and I looked deeper and I spoke sweeter and I...
The rising sun starts each of our days. What would that day look like without farmers? Some of us spend our day working to bring milk to your table. Others labor in love to provide grain for your cereal. There are over 26,000 of us in North Dakota alone. Our farms cover more than 85% of the state. We take pride in our responsibility to care, maintain, and provide. Take a peek in your pantry. Some of your favorites likely came from our fields. In times when things stop, we won't. We work hard to keep shelves stocked, fridges full, and food on your tables. For us, the rising sun is a token of a new era in agriculture. Help us keep the future bright.
Where do stars go to get their milk? The Milky Way. I know. Speaking of stars, it is now time to recognize our own for the Agri Science Fair Awards.
This morning, we had 53 individuals display their scientific knowledge in one of 6 categories. Microsoft is the sponsor of these awards. Would a representative please come forward to help hand out these awards? Congratulations to the bronze and silver agri-science projects now displayed on the screen. Would our Gold Agri-Science Fair participants please come up stage to receive your awards? Your gold projects are Shaylee Ravinius, Grant County FFA, Marty Ladders, Scranton FFA, Isabel Pachowski, Scranton FFA, Katharina Ketterling, Scranton FFA, Kyan Stanheim and Danny McCrack, Scranton FFA, Jaden Bogofsky, Flasher FFA, Summer Fleck, Flasher FFA, Abigail Garrison, Tioga FFA, Aria Bratton, Grafton, Ella Anderson, Scranton, Summer Meyer and Bree Ravinia, Grant County, Sadie Freitag and Kinley Stadheim, Scranton, Marissa Mumm, Wapaton, Samantha Burchill, Central Cass, Aiden Fisher, Scranton, Layla Crank, Scranton, McKenna Pancho and Kenny Beater, Velva, Monica Morris, Scranton, Tally Eaton, Scranton, Carity Evans, Scranton, Faith Howe and Rose Shai, Velva, Addie Christensen and Nick Wolfalk, Regional 44, Lillian Stake and Emily Klein, Scranton. Top participants in each category will receive a $150 award and a chance to move on to national judging with the chance of being selected to compete at the National FFA Convention in November. The winners in their respective categories are Isabel Pachowski, Scranton, Elizabeth Hansen and Jenna Loans, Velva, Katharina Ketterling, Scranton. Kyan Stadom and Danny McCrass, Scranton. Jada Bonchowski, Flasher. Abigail Ferguson, Tioga. Aria Branton, Grafton. Cody Bohm, Richmond 44. Ella Anderson, Scranton. Sadie Freitag and Kinsley Stadom, Scranton. Marissa Mom, Wapaton. Molly Josem and Bella Winnier, Garrison. Landon Easton, Scranton. Brooklyn Baker and Aspen Thielen, Garrison. Samantha Burchill, Central Cass. Alexander Evans, Scranton. Aiden Fisher, Scranton. Layla Crink, Scranton. McKenna Pacha and Kenley Beater, Velva. Tally Eaton, Scranton. Faith Howe and Rochelle, Velva. Chelsea Brandvold, Max. Lillian Stake and Emily Klein, Scranton. Congratulations to all FFA members who competed in Agri-Science Fair.
Would all state officer candidates please report backstage at this time? Now, if you don't know, we state officers really love our chocolate milk. So what happened when the milk got too cold? It cut the milkshakes. Even though we know chocolate milk doesn't come from brown cows, we can recognize those that participated in the Dairy Cattle Evaluation CDE this morning.
Sponsoring this event are milk producers of North Dakota and Minnesota Select Sires Co-op Incorporated. Will sponsor representatives please join us on stage? Congratulations to the bronze and silver individuals displayed on the screen. Would gold individuals please come up onto the stage to receive your award? Our gold participants in Dairy Cattle Evaluation include Gracie Hagan, Maddock, Paige Kresal, Hebron, Molly Hansen, Carrington, Haley Cree, Velva, Ali Nadowski, LG Colm, Sierra Mack, Medina, Olivia Neisch, LG Colm, Medora Elling, Mandan, Drew Pennington, Stanley, Abby Ryan, Medina, Lincoln Svensson, South Kindred, Abby Brash, South Prairie, Georgia Green, Maddock, Aubrey Lundy, Granville, Justin Sanders, New Salem, Bailey Coons, New Salem, and Ethan Johnson, South Prairie. We will now announce the top 5 individuals for the Dairy Cattle Evaluation CDE. Please remain on stage. In no particular order, we have Allison Selensky, Rugby, Adeline Kuhn, Napoleon, Jacqueline Duxer, Rugby, Riley Hintz, Center, and Taylor Reinhard, Minot. The high individual receiving the Baby Bison Trophy and the $250 stipend goes to Jacqueline Duxer, the Rugby FFA chapter. Moving on to the team awards. The teams in the bronze and silver categories are shown on the screen. For our gold teams, will one representative from each team come forward to receive the rosette? Kindred and New Salem. We will now announce the top 3 teams in dairy cattle evaluation. All team members and the advisor of the chapter are to come forward and stay on stage as I call your chapter. In no particular order, we have the teams from Edgecombe, Maddock, and Medina. Now, the moment of truth has arrived. Representing our state at Nationals next November will be the dairy cattle evaluation team from the Maddock AS FFA chapter.
Why do cows wear bells around their necks? Because their horns don't work. Now we will recognize those that get to handle these adorable animals during state convention with the Dairy Cattle Handler event.
Sponsoring the Dairy Cattle Handling event are Milk Producers of North Dakota and Midwest Dairy Association ND Division. Congratulations to the bronze and silver individuals displayed on the screen.
I can. It just kind of, a lot of the awards we do, they update as we go.
Would our gold individuals please come up to the stage to receive their awards? In the gold division, we have Haley Klein, Killdeer, Justin Jurgis, Park River, and Shayla Jorgensen, Powers Lake. We ask that the top 5 dairy handlers in today's contest remain on the stage until the winner has been announced. Dawson Bukowski, Belfield, Brecca Kraus, Carrington, Jared Sanders, New Salem, Caitlin Schauer, Hettinger, and Betsy Huber, Edgley-Colm. And the high individual receiving the Baby Bison Trophy and the $250 stipend is Dawson Mikowski, Belton FFA. Congratulations to the winners in the dairy cattle evaluation and handling.
After all these bad jokes, I'm sure North Dakota FFA will be ready for some new state officers. This year, we had 8 candidates for state office. These candidates have taken a courageous step of going through the screening process these past few days. The delegates will vote them to their respective offices on Thursday. It is now time that we get to meet these candidates.
Good evening, North Dakota FFA. My name is Ty McDonald, and I'm from the Bismarck FFA chapter.
My name is Annalise Rauschenberger from the South Prairie FFA chapter.
Hello, NDFFA. I am Ryan Slabaugh from the Rugby FFA chapter.
Hello, North Dakota FFA. My name is Sydney Ellingson, and I'm from the Henninger FFA chapter.
Hello, I'm Ireland Waterroot, and I'm from the Divide County FFA chapter.
Hi, North Dakota FFA. My name is Anna Haig, and I am from the Flasher FFA chapter.
Hello, North Dakota FFA. My name is Jack Stopworth, and I'm from the Kindred FFA chapter.
Howdy, North Dakota. I'm Ian Dukart from the Killdeer FFA chapter.
Thank you, candidates. What do farmers use to make crop circles? A protractor. These next group of individuals have probably never made crop circles, but they have all filled out applications for Proficiency Awards. Proficiency Awards recognizes excellence in a supervised agricultural experience program. This program recognizes individuals at the local, state, and national level for exceptional accomplishments in progressing towards career objectives in agriculture. Haley, please announce the finalists.
As we introduce each group of proficiency winners and their sponsors, please hold your applause until the entire group has been recognized. The Agricultural Mechanics Design and Fabrication Proficiency is sponsored by Lighthouse Commodities. The award of $250 is sponsored by Caterpillar Incorporated. The Agricultural Mechanic Design and Fabrication check goes to Wyatt Newman of the Carrington FFA chapter. The Agricultural Education Proficiency is sponsored by the NDSU Agricultural Education Society. The award of $250 is sponsored by Elanco. The Agriculture Education check goes to Samantha McHarry from the Oak Sargent Central Ellendale FFA chapter. The Agricultural Processing Proficiency is sponsored by North Dakota Department of Agriculture. The award of $250 is sponsored by John Deere. The Agricultural Processing check goes to Keegan Neppel of the Richland 44 FFA chapter. is the Agricultural Mechanics Repair and Maintenance Entrepreneurship. The sponsor for the finalists and state-winning plaques is General Equipment and Supplies Incorporated. The $250 award check for the state winner is provided by American Honda Motor Company Incorporated. The winner and check goes to Ryan Snively of the Pheasant and Bonin FFA chapter. Agricultural Mechanics Repair and Maintenance Placement. The finalists and state-winning plaques are sponsored by Divide County FFA alumni. National sponsors for the $250 check is Firestone Ag. The finalist is Russell McLean of the Larimore FFA chapter. The winner is Dominic Jordan Robertson of the Watford City FFA chapter. Sponsor of the plaques for the finalists and state winner for agricultural sales proficiency is Shareski Ag Services. National sponsor of the $250 check is Bayer. The winner and check goes to Anna Bitts of the Napoleon FFA chapter. And state-winning agricultural services plaques are sponsored by North Dakota Grain Dealers Association. The $250 award check for the state winner is provided by Syngenta. The finalist is Carter Haas of the Napoleon FFA chapter. The winner and check goes to Ella Anderson of the Scranton FFA chapter. Moving on to the Agri-Science Proficiency Awards. The finalists and state-winning Agri-Science Research Integrated Systems plaques are sponsored by North Dakota Association of Agricultural Educators. The $250 award check for the state winner is provided by the Harris Products Group, a Lincoln Electric company. The winner is Jack Stoppelworth of the Kindred FFA chapter. Beef production entrepreneurship is our next area. Our state sponsor is the North Dakota Stockmen's Association. The Beef Production Entrepreneurship Award of $250 is sponsored by Merck Animal Health. The finalists are Benjamin Shareski of the Max FFA chapter, Brighton Hoff of the Max FFA chapter, Jackson Brozart of the Rugby FFA chapter. The Beef Production Entrepreneurship winner and check goes to Kelsey Vandenberg of the Medina FFA chapter. Beef production placement is our next area. Our state sponsor is the North Dakota Stockmen's Association, and national sponsor of the $250 check is Zoetis. These are the finalists. Abby Lennick of the New Salem FFA chapter, Grace Oline of the New Salem FFA chapter, Paige Henningsen of the Oak Sargent Central Ellendale FFA chapter. And the state beef placement proficiency winner is Olivia Throner of the Oak Sargent Central Ellendale FFA chapter. Plaques for dairy production are sponsored by the Midwest Dairy Association North Dakota Division. The national sponsor is TSC. The finalist is Levi Becker of the New Salem FFA chapter. And your winner is Raymond Hawley of the New Salem FFA chapter. Diversified Egg Production. This year's Diversified Egg Production Proficiency is sponsored by North Dakota Wheat Commission. The check for $250 is provided by Pride Corporation. The finalists are Taylor Pritchett of the Rugby FFA chapter, Sean Foss of the Maddox Ace Gibbons FFA chapter, Alexis Schneider of the Napoleon FFA chapter. The check for $250 and state-winning plaque go to Benjamin Shareski of the Max FFA chapter. Diversified Crop Production Entrepreneurship. This state sponsor is the North Dakota Barley Council, and the $250 stipend is sponsored by Bayer. The finalists are Madison Myers of the Partial FFA chapter, Elizabeth Dolmage of the Leeds FFA chapter, and Sean Foss of the Maddox Ace Gibbons FFA chapter. The Diversified Crop Production Entrepreneurship plaque and check goes to Brighton Hoff of the Max FFA chapter. Diversified Crop Production Placement. The state sponsor is the North Dakota Barley Council, and the $250 stipend is sponsored by Valent USA Corporation. The finalists are Gavin Mason of the Pheasant and Bowdoin FFA chapter, Wade Gorder of the Richland 44 FFA chapter, William Stover of the Larimore FFA chapter. The Diversified Crop Production Placement plaque and check goes to Brett Baumgarten of the Kindred FFA chapter. Diversified Horticulture. Our state sponsor is Bollingburg Seed. The award of $250 is sponsored by Ag Reliant Genetics. And the state winner for Diversified Horticulture is Alexis Ritzman of the Mandan FFA chapter. Diversified Livestock Production. Our state sponsor is Meyer Family Memorial. The award of $250 is sponsored by Baker Corporation. These are the finalists. Olivia Nitschke of the Edgley-Cullum FFA chapter. Allison Selensky of the Rugby FFA chapter. Majora Ellingson of the Mandan FFA chapter. And the state winner for Diversified Livestock is Lillian Stake of the Scranton FFA chapter. Next is Equine Science Entrepreneurship. The finalists and winners plaques are sponsored by Wade and Lynn Mosier. The $250 check for the state winner is sponsored by Fibro. Congratulations to our state winner, Emily Fanick of the Max FFA chapter. placement. The finalists and winners' plaques are sponsored by Levi and Katie Reese. The $250 check for the state winner is sponsored by Indiana Farm Bureau and Farm Bureau Insurance. These are the finalists. Bailey Lura of the Carrington FFA chapter. Ellison Phelan of the New Salem FFA chapter. And the state winner is Ian Dukart of the Killdeer FFA chapter. Congratulations to all the winners in Proficiency Section A.
What did the farmer say when he lost one of his cows? What a mistake. Speaking of steak, one talent I definitely don't have is being able to tell how well done a steak is by looking at it. But I do know some people have even better talents to share with us today. The Grand County FFA chapter is the sponsor of the North Dakota FFA Talent Stage. Let's welcome Claire Christensen of the Central Cass FFA chapter.
Hi everyone, I'm Claire Christensen from the Central Cass FFA chapter, and I'll be singing Traveling Soldier. 2 days past 18, he was waiting for the bus in his army green, sat down in a booth in a cafe there, gave his order to a girl with a bow in her hair. He's a little shy, so she gave him a smile, and he said, would you mind sitting down for a while and talking to me? I'm feeling a little low. She said, I'm off in an hour and I know where we can go. So they went down and they sat on the pier. He said, I bet you got a boyfriend, but I don't care. I got no one to send a letter to. Would you mind if I sent one back here to you? I cried, never gonna hold the hand of another guy. Too young for him, they told her, waiting for the love of a traveling soldier. Our love will never end, waiting for the soldier to come back again. Never more to be alone when the letters say the soldier's coming home. So the letters came from an army camp in California, then Vietnam, and he told her of his heart. It might be love and all of the things he was so scared of. He said, when it's getting kinda rough over here, I think of that day sitting down by the pier, and I close my eyes and see your pretty smile. Don't worry, but I won't be able to write for a while. I cried, never gonna hold the hand of another guy. Too young for him, they told her, waiting for the love of a traveling soldier. Our love will never end, waiting for the soldier to come back again. Never more to be alone when the letters say the soldier's coming home. One Friday night at a football game, the Lord's Prayer said and the anthem sang, and a man said, folks, would you bow your head for a list of local Vietnam dead?
Wow, that was amazing. Now we have even more talented stars, but in their own SAEs. Jacob, please announce the finalists in Section B.
Our next category is forage production. The plaques for this award are sponsored by ND Veterinary Medical Association. The national sponsor of the $250 check is Claws of America. The finalist is Chance Hosel from the Max FFA chapter. And your state winner in the forage production is Gabriel Lacaduck from the Velvet FFA chapter. Next up is Go Production. Our state sponsor is the NDSU Animal Science Department. The Go Production Award of $250 is sponsored by Fibro. The state winner for Go Production is Gracie Hagan from the Maddock A.S. Gibbons FFA chapter. The grain production state sponsors are ND Wheat Commission with an additional $250 stipend sponsored by the ND Grain Growers Association. The state winner will also receive a check for $250 sponsored by Bayer. The finalists are John Wolf from the New Salem FFA chapter and Riley Flaw from the Richland 44 FFA chapter. The check and plaque goes to Gracie Severson from the Edgeley Column FFA chapter. Up next is the area of landscape management. Alan and Pat Geese are the sponsors of these plaques. The $250 check is sponsored by the Toro Company. And the state winner in landscape management is Logan Fossen from Maddock A.S. Gibbons FFA chapter. The Nursery Operations Proficiency Awards are next. The sponsor for the state plaques is the Carrington FFA chapter. Nutrient Egg Solutions is the sponsor of the $250 check for the state winner. Congratulations to Lane Benson of the Maddock A.S. Gibbons FFA chapter. Poultry production is our next category. Finalists and state plaques are sponsored by USDA Farm Service Agency. The $250 check for the state winner is sponsored by the U.S. Poultry and Egg Association. Here are your finalists. Josie Westman from the Garrison FFA chapter, Lillian Stake from the Scranton FFA chapter, and Gavin Engwich from the New Salem FFA chapter. And the state winner in the poultry production is Sienna Garrett from the Medina FFA chapter. The next Proficiency Award area is sheep production. The plaques for this award area are sponsored by the ND Lamb and Wool Producers. The national sponsor of the $250 check for the state winner is Zoetis. The finalists are Tegan Erbley from the Napoleon FFA chapter, Boris Sears from the Central Cast FFA chapter, and Tegan Olson from the Oak Sargent Central Ellendale FFA chapter. And the state winner in the sheep production is Cole Anderson from the Rugby FFA chapter. Animal Production and Care Awards are sponsored by Jason and Heather Rohr. The $250 check is from Tractor Supply Company. The finalists are Ethan Rudd from the New Salem FFA chapter and Elliot Beto from the Richland 44 FFA chapter. The state winner in specialty animal production is Alyssa Young from the Napoleon FFA chapter. Specialty Crop Production Awards are sponsored by Steve Strage. The $250 check is from TopCon. And the state winner in Specialty Crop Production is Madison Myers from the Partial FFA chapter. Swine Production Placement Awards are sponsored by the ND Pork Council. The $250 check is from Merck Animal Health. The finalists are Logan Maddock from the Maddock A.S. Gibbons FFA chapter and Chris Schoenwald from the Watford City FFA chapter. And the $250 check and plaque for swine production goes to Cole Heesers from the Max FFA chapter. Turfgrass Management is our next award. Agassiz Seed and Supply is a state sponsor, and Corteva AgriScience provides the $250 check for this proficiency area. The finalists are Garen Opdahl from the Pheasant Bowden FFA chapter, Adam Skog from the Richland 44 FFA chapter, and Shay Danielson from the New Salem FFA chapter. And the state winner in Turfgrass Management is Eric Talbot from the Max FFA chapter. The next proficiency area is vegetable production. Our state sponsor is the NDFFA Foundation. The $250 check is sponsored by Wilbur Ellis. Here are your finalists: Julia Siebel from the Wahpeton FFA chapter, Sabrina Haas from the Napoleon FFA chapter, and Elena Vanderwall from the New Salem FFA chapter. And the state proficiency check for vegetable production goes to Sophia Hauser from the Hebron FFA chapter. Next up is Wildlife Production and Management. Our sponsors are Bridget and Randy Riedel. The $250 check is sponsored by Yamaha Motor Company. And the state proficiency check for Wildlife Production and Management goes to Carissa Mann from the Napoleon FFA chapter. Congratulations to our Section B proficiency winners. Let's give them one more round of applause.
Really fun time with you all. But we have a little more business to get to, so I will now turn the session back to our president, Amy Klein.
It is now time to conduct the business meeting of the 2023 North Dakota FFA Convention. Madam Secretary, please proceed with the roll call.
It is important that all delegates are seated and remain in their chairs during this time. As I call your chapter, would those delegates please stand to be counted? Turtle Lake Mercer.
3,
Rugby.
5,
Maddox A.S. Gibbons.
2,
President Bowdoin.
2,
Killdeer.
4,
Delax Burlington.
3,
Max.
3,
Ashley.
2,
Belfield.
2,
Berthold.
2,
Beulah.
3,
Bismarck.
2,
Botno.
5,
Bowman County.
2,
Carrington.
3,
Center.
2,
Central Cass.
3,
David Lloyd Lamore.
2,
Dickinson.
2,
Divide County.
3,
Drayton.
2,
Edgeley Colm.
3,
Finley Sharon.
2,
Flasher.
2,
Gackle Streeter.
2,
Garrison.
4,
Glen Olm.
2,
Golden Valley County.
2,
Grafton.
2,
Grand County.
2,
Granville.
2,
Harvey.
4,
Hazen.
2,
Hebron.
2,
Hettinger.
2,
Hillsborough.
0,
Hope Page.
2,
Jamestown.
0,
Kenmare.
3,
Kidder County.
2,
Kindred.
6,
Lakota.
2,
Larimore.
2,
Leeds.
2,
Ledgerwood.
2,
Lisbon.
7,
Mandan.
7, 8,
Mayport CG.
2,
McCluskey.
2,
Medina.
3,
Minot.
8,
Minto.
2,
Mohall.
3,
Mont Regent.
2,
Napoleon.
2,
New England.
2,
New Salem.
4,
North Sargent.
2,
Central Cass. Northern
0.
Cass, sorry. Northern Cass.
2,
Oak Sargent Central, Ellendale.
3,
Park River area.
2,
Partial.
3,
Powers Lake.
2,
Ray.
2,
Richland 44.
3,
Rolette.
2,
Rolla.
2,
Scranton.
2,
Cheyenne Valley.
2,
South Hart.
2,
South Prairie.
4,
St. John.
0,
Stanley.
4,
Surrey.
2,
Tioga.
2,
Towner.
3,
Belva.
2,
Wapaton.
7,
Washburn.
3,
Watford City.
5,
West Hope Newburgh.
2,
Wilton.
3,
Wing.
2,
Wishick.
2,
And Widemere.
3.
Madam President, I am pleased to announce that there are 229 voting delegates present.
At this time, all committee co-chairs please report backstage. Madam Secretary, what is our first item of business?
Committee reports from State Program of Activities, Auditing, Community Service, Alumni Recruitment, Leadership Conference, AET, Social Media, and State Convention Activities and Recreation.
Each co-chair presents their committee report and will present a copy to the Secretary. We will first start off with the State Program of Activities with co-chairs William Stover of Larimore and Clayton Grove of Ray.
So my name is William Stover. I'm from Larimore. This is Clayton Grove from Ray. We are the co-chairs of the Program of Activities Committee. We met in the Hidatsa room yesterday. After completing roll call, the committee commenced with new business at 5:44 p.m. The committee began by discussing if chapter officer books should be kept or discontinued. Many members didn't even know what officer books were. Some members thought they should be discontinued, while others said that they were a great way to keep records. The general consensus was that they should be kept and modernized. Some members suggested using the AET website to create officer books. We discussed incentivizing people to turn in their officer books. Next, we discussed the chapter program of activities. Many members also didn't know what a POA was. No change was recommended to the current POA system. Towards the end of the meeting, some members discussed adding more guidelines to the NDFFA website for officer books. The action recommended is to keep officer books and try to modernize them, and if possible, integrate them into the AET website, and add more information about officer books to the NDFFA website. I move to approve this report.
I second.
It is properly moved and seconded to accept the State Program of Activities report. Is there any discussion? Discussion, discussion. Seeing none, we shall not proceed to vote. All delegates in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried. We'll now hear from the Auditing Committee with co-chairs Tevye Vogel of Hebron and Shaden L. of Mandan.
Hello, we are Tevye Vogel and Shaden L. We are chairs of the Auditing Committee. We met yesterday in the Room of Nations and had 27 members present and 1 member absent.
The Auditing Committee reviewed the 2023-2024 budget, net worth, income, and expenses. The committee was also tasked with setting the state dues. Emma Taylor from Tioga made a motion to recommend that state dues be kept at $6, and Bridger Ravinius from Gackle Streeter seconded the motion. The motion passed. The outcome of the meeting is that the Auditing Committee recommends that the 2023-2024 budget be approved and that state dues remain at $6.
And I second that the committee report be approved. Yes?
It's been properly moved and seconded to accept the Auditing Committee report. Is there any discussion? Discussion, discussion. Seeing none, we shall not proceed to vote. All delegates in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried. We'll now hear from the Community Service Committee with Levi Becker of New Salem and Gabriel Lakaduk of Belva.
Hi, I'm Gabe Lakaduk from Belva. I'm Levi Becker from New Salem, and we were a part of the Community Service Committee. Our state officer was Amy Klein. We had 25 members present and 1 member absent. The meeting started at 5:45 and ended around 6:10. Our report was our community talked about different community service ideas that we could do throughout the state and district levels. Some of the ideas that we came up with were food drives, Battle of Fall Leadership Conference, donating to children's hospitals, donating to homeless shelters, and donating school supplies. We also talked about doing our community service at state and district levels.
As a committee, we came to the conclusion and decided to submit
to the Board of Directors an idea holding a statewide day of service. We have also decided to submit to the board our idea for an addition under the Chapter Resources tab on the Indy FFA Foundation website with information of community service project ideas for chapters to use. Madam President, I move that we accept this community service report.
Second.
Is it properly seconded to accept the community service report? Is there any discussion? Discussion. Seeing none, we should not proceed to vote. All those delegates in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried. We will now hear from the Alumni Recruitment Committee with Lillian Stake of Scranton and Aiden Pelton of Watford City.
Hello, I'm Aiden Pelton with Watford City.
And I'm Lillian Stake of the Scranton FFA chapter, and we're a part of the Alumni Recruitment Committee. We met yesterday, June 5th, 2023, in the Memorial Union Prairie Rose room. We started at 5:42 p.m. and ended at 6:25 p.m. There was 24 members present and 3 members absent.
The Alumni Recruitment Committee discussed how to get more alumni involvement within the chapters and how to recruit graduating seniors into the program. We as a committee discussed if younger members are aware of the alumni programs in their local area and if they would consider joining. Our first discussion was about inviting local alumni members to the yearly FFA banquets, monthly meetings, and chapter auctions. Our second discussion was about the lack of knowledge of community members and graduating seniors not knowing about the purpose and mission of the alumni chapters. Also, that the alumni chapters do not have monthly meetings, but they just have non-official alumni meetings. The last discussion the community has was about the resources that would be helpful for graduated members. The resources needed would be handouts to businesses, more advertising around the community with flyers, informational guide on different websites, and a member of the alumni coming to local ag programs to recruit members to the alumni. The committee recommended that the following actions be looked at by North Dakota FFA state officers. Update the North Dakota alumni website to include more information on joining alumni chapters and advertise statewide alumni events. Set up an award system for members of alumni chapters for time served, and have booths set up at state convention career fairs to increase awareness that graduating FFA members can join the local alumni chapter.
Madam President, I move to accept the Alumni Recruitment Committee report.
I second.
It has been properly moved and seconded to accept the Alumni Recruitment Committee's report. Is there any discussion? Discussion. Seeing none, we should not proceed to vote. All those delegates in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried. We will hear from the Leadership Conference Committee with Anna Haig of Flasher and Chelsea Brownfold of Max.
Hi, my name is Anna Haig from the Flasher FFA chapter. And I'm Chelsea Bramville from the Max FFA chapter. We were part of the leadership conference. We had 26 members present with 4 members absent, and the location of our meeting was at the Meadow Room in Memorial Union.
In the leadership committee, our members discussed multiple questions on what should be changed. Our first discussion was in regard to the speakers and materials presented to the members at the conferences and whether or not it needed to be changed. While discussing the topic, the members decided they all liked the speaker and his material the first time they heard him, but when he came back every year, it became repetitive for the members. They believed new speakers and different material covered in the presentations would keep members from becoming bored with conferences and would help teach them new lessons. Our second discussion led to the change of date and location change of the conference. Overall, the members believed both changes were effective and did not really alter attendance. The members did wish to see some more promotions for the conference, as many were not aware it was moved from January. Our third discussion led to the topic of the dance, game room, and community service project. Many of the members felt having the dance at the same time as the community service discouraged chapters from attending. Many of the members of the committee also did not know about the service project and felt it should be moved, as well as advertised better through advisors and social media for optimal member participation. In this discussion, the members also liked the game room during the dance, but felt the dance hall was overcrowded and should be bigger. Our fourth discussion was the recent name changes of the conferences. The members felt the change from the numbers to the blue and gold were confusing and not as easy to differentiate the levels of the conferences. The committee came to the conclusion that they would like to recommend 5 actions. Consider the leadership names would be changed to a similar, more diverse name, such as 101, Beginner Blue, Intermediate Gold, and Aspire. See a diversity in different speakers for each of the conferences and change them out every year. Community service projects are moved to before the dance, other than during the dance. Promote leadership conferences through social media, advisors, and flyers, and make the dance floor bigger. This report is submitted by the chairs, Chelsea Brandvold and Anna Haig, on June 6, 2023.
Madam President, I move to approve the report of the Leadership Conference Committee.
I second.
It is promptly moved and seconded to accept the Leadership Conference Committee report. Is there any discussion? Discussion. Seeing none, we should not proceed to vote. All those delegates in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried. We now hear from the AET Committee with Ian Dukart of Killdeer and Kelsey Vanderberg of Medina.
I'm Ian Dukart from the Killdeer FFA chapter, and the other co-chair was Kelsey Vandenberg from the Medina FFA chapter. We're the AET committee. We had 22 members present, 3 absent, and we met in the Nuetta room. The AET committee started off on their discussion by stating how many delegates use the AET. We found that almost 75% of the members present only use the AET in classroom. We also found that most delegates do not use the AET outside the classroom. We also found that about half the advisors encourage students to use the AET. Discussion also took place on how to improve the involvement in the available to the students, and only 2 students knew about the app available. This brought up discussion on how to encourage the usage of the app because it's more convenient for students to use while at their jobs or in a field. There was also discussion on different ways the AET can be used other than to track your SAE or fill out applications. We as a committee want to make sure students understand the AET is and how to use it outside the classroom.
Action recommended. The committee recommends that there be more training sessions for advisors on how to correctly use the AET. We also would recommend that the app be promoted at different events or on the social media pages so students know it is out there for their use and convenience. This report was submitted by Ian Dokart and Kelsey Vandenberg on June 5th of 2023. Madam President, I move that the AET report be accepted.
I second the motion.
It has been properly moved and seconded to accept the AET committee report. Is there any discussion? Discussion. Seeing none, we should not proceed to vote. All delegates in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. We'll now hear from the social media committee with Ireland Waterrood of Divide County and Sydney Ellingson of Hettinger.
Hi, my name is Sydney Ellingson.
And I'm Ireland Waterrood.
We are the co-chairs of the Social Media Committee. We met on June 5th, 2023 at 5:30 in the Lark Room. In the Social Media Committee, our members discussed multiple topics. Our first discussion was talking about the lack of content on our TikTok page. They recommended that we post more content to reach the target audience of FFA members, as many of the members are already active on this platform. It was also suggested that Instagram also be prioritized with more content, as the platform is already popular. As members discussed the numerous Instagram pages, they suggested seeing more interactive content such as polls, story stickers, unique hashtags, and scavenger hunts during events. It was also recommended that North Dakota FFA creates giveaways on social media to increase engagement. They also discussed that when looking at individual state officer pages, they changed the handles to include officer positions instead of the officers' names to keep a following and to be used by later state officers. Members also discussed that many members are not active on Facebook and that the content should be directed toward an older demographic, such as parents and alumni. The committee also recommended that North Dakota FFA create summaries of each individual event on YouTube, along with creating reels, therefore better utilizing the platform to gain more engagement. The committee also discussed a new social media platform that could be used, such as Visco, BeReal, and Twitter. They came to the conclusion that BeReal was a more favorable platform for new content. They would allow for a more casual, behind-the-scenes look of the state officers and their time spent together. They also discussed possibly hiring a social media coordinator to take a workload off the state officers. This would lead to overall better content. There were 29 members present and 3 members absent at this committee meeting.
The action recommended that the committee take. The committee came to the conclusion that the North Dakota FFA Foundation and the state officer team should create a BeReal account. The members also strongly recommended that more TikTok content be created. They also encouraged to see more Instagram stories, such as add yours stickers, polls, and unique hashtags. Along with that, they should promote giveaways on social media to get more interactions. They also strongly believe that all social media should be promoted during the sessions at state convention and other events throughout the year. The final thing that was discussed was the better utilization of YouTube by creating short, informative videos talking to members about different aspects of FFA events and activities. I move to pass the social media committee report as read.
I second the motion.
It has been properly moved and seconded to accept the social media committee report. Is there any discussion? Discussion? Discussion. Seeing none, we should not proceed to vote. All those in favor that we accept the social media's committee report as read, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried. We will now hear from the State Convention Activities and Recreation Committee with Grant Anderson of Harvey and Jack Stopworth of Kindred.
My name is Jack Stopworth, and I'm from the Kindred FFA chapter.
My name is Grant Anderson. I'm from the Harvey FFA chapter, and we were co-chairs of the State Convention Activities and Recreation Committee. We met in the Rose Room yesterday. There were 30 members present and 1 member absent. And the State Convention Activities and Recreation Committee discussed whether or not the dance should be continued, potential activities for members who didn't want to attend the dance, whether the hypnotist event should be replaced with something else, what campus tours should be requested, and if the cornhole tournament should be continued.
The following recommendations were made by the State Convention Activities and Recreation Committee. That organized lawn games be hosted in collaboration with the NDSU Wellness Center on Monday afternoon of convention if the increase in the convention registration fee is $10 or less. That the dance remain in place and current opportunities such as board games and movies provided by the dorms be publicized as an alternative for members who don't want to attend the dance. That a survey be conducted to gauge interest in a swing dance lesson prior to the normally scheduled dance. That the hypnotists remain but alternate every year with another form of entertainment. That more tours of agricultural departments in NDSU be requested, and that all recreation opportunities be put on a page in the convention booklets, advertised on the screens in the convention hall, and overall more visibly publicized. Madam President, I move to accept the Convention Activities and Recreation Committee report as read.
Second.
It is a properly moved and seconded to accept the State Convention Activities and Recreation report as read. Is there any discussion? Discussion? Discussion. Seeing none, we should not proceed to vote. All those delegates in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you to all our committee members for a job well done. Madam Secretary, what is the next order of business?
New business, Madam President.
Delegates, I will now open the floor for the conducting of any new business. Delegates are asked to stand to be recognized and then proceed to the nearest mic on each side and use the microphone there so that all may hear clearly. We also ask that you start by stating your name and chapter clearly so that the Secretary can accurately record the minutes. Also, please have your motions stated clearly and have them written and submit them to the Secretary's station after you have made the motion. At this time, is there any new business? The chair recognizes the delegate from the Tioga FFA chapter.
Emma Taylor from Tioga FFA chapter. I move that our 2023-2024 state dues stay at $6.
We need somebody to be recognized for a second. Proceed to the nearest mic.
I second the motion.
Name and chapter, please.
Gabe Blackadek, Velva FFA chapter.
Thank you. It has been properly moved and seconded to set the 2023-2024 state dues at $6. Is there any discussion? Discussion. Seeing none, we should not proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried. The state dues will remain at $6. Is there any new business? We will now close new business. Madam Secretary, do you have record of any further business that should now be transacted?
I have none, Madam President.
Does any member know of any new or unfinished business which shall properly come before this session? We brought you during the second session of the 94th North Dakota FFA State Convention. As we mingle with others, let us be diligent in labor, just in our dealings, courteous to everyone, and above all, honest and fair in the game of life. Fellow members and guests, please join me in the salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I now declare the session adjourned.